long time ago, when I used to treat people, the most desperate issue that I met is that it's a cycle. It's an unescapable cycle. It doesn't matter if you sort of create a relief for a time being. It will return as really as sure as a clock, which is not handled by human force. It means that it's a trap. It felt very much like a trap. Okay, so the mechanism of suffering and treatment of suffering is it's like believing that it's a convention, meaning it's like agreeing that the paper I give you has gold stored in the back of it somewhere. It's sort of an agreement that with your rationality you'll be able to give someone a currency of relief. Okay, but actually, if there is no sort of appreciation of the higher plan, it's we're playing in currencies, in cycle. Okay, so when we speak about, if you ask about the sort of the mechanism of actually, you're asking about the mechanism of providence. Okay. The mechanism of providence relates not to souls, it relates to spirits. It relates to their purpose, it relates to their experience. Now, you can say that for the spirit, going down to a corporal life, to share corporal life, at least it's inconvenient. It's inconvenient, at least, not to say suffering.
Not sure I quite get it.
Think about a higher being that has to take the conditions of really a lowly consciousness. It's like, I don't know, like you would be sort of forced to live like a fish now. Okay. And that is a good example. I mean, a very large example. It's not speak about the smell, but to speak about the very existence of being a point within divinity, or a point within light, and needing to go. So the suffering, if we speak at all about the ability to carry the purpose, is not our suffering, it's the suffering of the spirit. And this is why we're saying that what we need to think of is the exile that the spirit, and therefore divinity, is going through because we are so stubborn. What we call our suffering is a very, very far away echo of what is really happening. So unless we get that, okay, we can never understand the mechanics of it. We're so self-absorbed with how we feel. Okay? We don't even sort of put out the snorkel outside to see that there is a different world, and it's sort of really revolves around trying to wake us up.
Yeah.
So there was a trial. This is what the book of Bereshit is telling us, that there was a trial to sort of to establish it throughout all humanity. It failed. So there need to be sort of a model.
When did it fail?
It fell through in the time of Noah, in the time of, let's say, the first generation that came out from Cain and Hevel, and the fallen angels or the fallen forces, and then all the generation up to Noah and the deluge, and then even after the deluge, when there was sort of the knowing, the fear, the outcome, the rationality of humans were, so we need to be sort of, it's not unity, but uniformity. We have to impose uniformity. Otherwise, we're going to go back. The beginning of forcing religion on another person starts with the Babylon Tower.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of it. Okay. So then there was a search of what trend of humanity carries the hope and the memory of being united because of the presence of the will of the higher. And it was found in sort of in the, let's say, family or trait of the family of Ever. Okay, the ability to listen, to prophesize. So from that, actually, it stems from Ivri or Ever. It means that they are able. It's the ability to see beyond.
Mm.
So what was needed for the evolution of humanity is sort of a model that could see beyond and hold the hope for humanity, and maybe one day hold as well the technology, the light that belongs to that hope, that belongs to this way of life,
Mm-hmm.
which was distorted so many times.
Right.
Okay, it's a memory of being able to go beyond. This is why I'm saying being rational is not intelligent, because it sort of limits us from all forbid us from going beyond ourselves. So we need the rational part, but it's not a substitute for a higher intelligence or going beyond. And that is what the last generation Kabbalists is trying to tie us back to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's the time of the Hebrews. It's not the time of Israelis, not the time of the Jews. Okay, it's time to bring back the presence of divinity, that we will be able to go beyond. This is the meaning of to prophesize in Hebrew, to have the language that can express the higher intelligence or the will of God. Not to impose it, to express it. If it will be expressed, human consciousness will get it.
Thank you. Yeah. As you're speaking, a moment that I kept thinking about was in Viktor Frankl's book, Man in Search of Meaning, and the moment he's being kicked or something by a Nazi, and he's able to, he had a very tall snorkel, I think, in that moment, to be able to see what was trying to happen and to actually make it happen, so much so that you and I are discussing it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so I think this is the choice, and it's very elusive. It can be alive in us now as a feeling, as though we hold something. It will disappear in the next moment. This is why we need to reestablish it every time when we say surrender. And awkward as it may seem to the phrasing of it within ourselves, but we need to be stubborn about it. Yeah. And yeah, to be able to see beyond, to see not only for ourselves,